It's outrageous to line your pockets off the misery of the poor. Outrageous.
Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Now today I've wanted to do a Paul Simon album review. I haven't talked about one of his records for a little while now. So the one which I've decided to talk about today is the album Surprise. So in this video I'll just be doing the usual thing, giving a bit of background information about the record, then show you my vinyl copy and then going over each of the album songs in detail. So this was Paul Simon's 11th studio album, released on the 9th of May in 2006. His previous album was from the year 2000 called You're the One, which was quite a successful record for him, was nominated for a few Grammy Awards. Later he went on a Simon and Garfunkel reunion tour throughout 2004. So when it came to making this record, it was made over a period of about 3 years after Simon completed You're the One. He worked with the legendary Brian Eno for this album. However, they actually only spent a very short amount of time actually working together. Only about 20 days it was reported. However, it took place over a period of 2 years, working intensively for 5 days at a time. The writing method for this record was quite similar to probably a lot of other Paul Simon's records, pretty much since Graceland, where he would begin with the drums all a rhythmic idea, and then put on guitar before sort of forming the melody and the lyrics, kind of the reverse method to what most other songwriters and record producers do. The album was quite successful. It got to number 14 on the Billboard charts. I think pretty much the same as Simon's previous album. However, in the UK, it done surprisingly well. Hit number 4, on the UK charts, and critically, the album was praised. And the collaboration between Simon and Eno was deemed a success. So I'll now just show you my vinyl copy of it here. This is quite a rare item, it has to be said. Like I said, from 2006, it's not been reissued at all, this record. So this is the original pressing, the original US pressing. There's the cover, there's the back cover. I'm not a massive fan of this artwork. It's alright, it's just a cute baby really, but it doesn't really reflect too much what the album is actually really about. Just comes in a plain inner sleeve, but you do get a lyric insert, which is quite nice, just little illustrations, feature songs, and the lyrics, which is good. And the record itself here, just in a plain white inner sleeve with nice custom labels. This is on, I think it's Warner Brothers record label for this release here. So Paul Simon Surprise here. It is easy enough to get on CD, but this vinyl copy, you will have a hard time trying to find it. Even online now, it's online now, it does go for quite a bit. So I'm very fortunate to have this vinyl copy of it. Okay, so I'm now going to go over each of the album songs in detail. I'll score each track out of 10, and then those scores will be used to give us a overall percentage marking for the album.
How can you live in the Northeast? How can you live in the South?
Okay, so it opens up with How Can You Live in the Northeast, which is a really nice song to begin the record. It begins quite slow with this sort of distorted guitar tones on it. The chorus is a bit more stripped back, and acoustic, and lyrically kind of covers the subject of religion, sort of people's ability to live together in harmony, that sort of thing. I really like the production as well, towards the end, where it really explodes into life. This song, he does electronics, kind of going going a bit crazy towards the end of this song, but it really works. It really comes alive. So yeah, I would give it a 9 out of 10 this track.
We don't mean to mess things up, but mess them up.
Another great song follows it up. Everything About It is a love song, which I really like this song because it goes through a lot of changes, the production, kind of really complements this song. It gives it it gives the song a really strong atmosphere, and there's also some really sort of great contemporary beats on it as well. It just really works. Lyrically, there are some really nice passages like Simon sings about like having like writer's block like on this song. Like one of the lyrics on this song is locked in a struggle for the right combination of words in a melody line. So like again possibly like about sort of like writer's block, which maybe Simon like had like around this time, like I'm not too sure. But it is a really great song, like I think like everything about it is a love song. We'll get a 9 out of 10.
Who's gonna love you when you look so gone? Tell me who's gonna...
And then the next song is called Outrageous, which was one of the singles from the record. I have actually got the 7-inch here to it, like on like white vinyl. Like funnily enough, like this is actually backed with Slip Sliding Away, which is a bit of a weird B-side to put on there. But anyway, Outrageous, a really fun sort of like upbeat, funky number. I would say the chorus itself like is like a tad repetitive, like the line like, "Who's gonna love you when your looks are gone?" I mean, it's good, but like after like a couple of times like of hearing that, like it does get like a little bit like tiresome. I like also do particularly like the change of pace towards the end of this song. That kind of starts like very sort of like upbeat, funky, but like then it kind of gets like slower towards the end, which is quite like an interesting thing to do. Like not a lot of songs do that. Unfortunately, it does give the impression that the song is kind of like dragging on like a little bit, but like it is like a nice like shift, like a nice surprising change of pace like for like the song. But yeah, Outrageous, not a bad track there, but like hardly one of Paul Simon's finest singles. But anyway, back to the album now, and that's followed up by a song called "Sure Don't Feel Like Love," which is another kind of fast-paced song, like with Simon doing quite a sort of like high vocal like on like the chorus, like on like this one here. Lyrically, it is a bit cryptic. Like one of the lyrics mentions like one of my best friends turned enemies. So it could be about like Art Garfunkel, but like also like has like lines like "I registered to vote today, felt like a fool." Could be like about like other subjects. And that, like, generally, I think it's just like I just think it's like a stream of consciousness lyric, really, what he kind of just like made up, really like on like a spot. But yeah, not a bad song there though. Like again, the production works nicely, but like just not a real highlight like on the album.
Because you cannot walk with the holy if you're just a halfway.
The next song though is definitely one of the best. It's called Wartime Prayers, which I love the way this song builds up. Starts off very quiet, just Simon like and like a like acoustic guitar, but like as like it goes like into like the chorus, like you get like this sort of gospel choir. I believe it's the Jesse Davis singers. Like they also sang on like like There Goes Rhymin' Simon album, like some like 40 years before this. No, not quite 40 years, about like 30 years like before this album like came out. I mean, but this song is just fantastic. Like again, it is maybe slightly political, like lyrically, like it was like written like around about the time like of like the like start of like the Iraq War. So like again, it could be like about that, but it is still a song which is quite relevant today, like with everything like going on like in like Syria and that like at the moment. But yeah, amazing song there, Wartime Prayers. Certainly, I think like will be regarded like as like a Paul Simon classic like as like the years go on.
She's beautiful.
And then the next song kind of has sort of similar themes to it. It's called Beautiful, which is a song about basically like adopting a baby like from like a war-torn country. It's got a kind of sort of Graceland like African style beat to it. It is maybe a little bit weaker like the chorus to this one. It is basically just like he's just singing that she's beautiful, like that line like repeated, and but like Eno's like background sounds like he's credited as like sonic landscape like as opposed to like producer like on this record. Like they do keep the song like somewhat interesting, but it is one of the weaker tracks like on the record for me personally. Beautiful would get a 7 out of 10 though.
I got a call from my broker.
And then the next one, which opens up side 2, is called I Don't Believe, which is quite a slow sort of brooding track. It's quite sort of progressive like as well, like I think like very sort of different like for Paul Simon. Like it's got like again quite cryptic lyrics, like again it could be like about like the creation like of like the earth and like that kind of thing. I mean like it is a good track there, like quite a moving track like as well, like when I listen to it like through earphones like as well like the atmosphere just really like comes alive with this song. So yeah, like I Don't Believe, another really good track there, a 8 out of 10.
Another galaxy.
And then that's followed up with a song, Another Galaxy, which is a very nice, very calming song. Like Paul Simon's voice just sounds so sort of soothing like on like this track here. And it is a very much like a slow burner, this song. Like it very much like builds like very, very gradually though. However, it doesn't seem to build too much though. Like I mean like it's 5 minutes 20 seconds this track here. But like it doesn't seem to really go like anywhere like beyond like the chorus, which itself like is really nice, like very like melodic chorus, but like it doesn't like build much like after like about like the 3-minute mark. So yeah, Another Galaxy, a really like solid track there, just not one of like my absolute favourites from the record.
I figured that once upon a time I was an ocean.
And then the next one is also really good. It's called Once Upon a Time There Was an Ocean, which is like another really like solid song. Like again, like lyrics on this one like about being sort of stuck like in like a dead end job. The electronics like on this song here, like Brian Eno's like sort of like contribution to this track, like they're a lot more sort of jagged, which I think really works. Like the last few songs like I've been quite sort of like easy listening, whereas this one here like is like a bit more kind of like offbeat and like that sort of thing, which I think really works. Like also reprises kind of like a melody line as well, like from the song Sure Don't Feel Like Love. I'm not sure whether that was just like either like laziness, like or like whether like Simon like was hoping like to introduce like some like continuity like throughout this record, like, but I do think it works like quite well, like kind of like referencing like one of like the previous songs like on the album. So yeah, Once Upon a Time There Was an Ocean would get a 9 out of 10. Really, really good track there.
That's me. I'm in the valley of twilight. Now I'm on the...
And then the next song is also really good. It's called That's Me, which is a more sort of like autobiographical song. Like it's got a kind of sort of quirky beat like punctuating the track with like great lyrics like on it as well. Like such as like it's like opens with I'll just skip the boring parts, chapters 1, 2, 3, and get to the place where you can read my face and my biography. Like I like that line, like it just scans like really well. So yeah, That's Me, another really solid great track like on the album, I think.
I'm gonna watch you shine, gonna watch you grow.
And then it closes with the song Father and Daughter, which is a bit of like an odd one out like on like the record. Like it's the only one like not to feature Brian Eno, but like he's not like involved like, with this track here. And like originally like it was released in 2002 and 2002 like on the soundtrack to a children's film, which title like escapes me now. But it fits quite well like on this record. Like there are like still some kind of like electronic-y sounds in it. Like he's got like these sort of like backing vocals like from like I believe it's his like son like who like sings like on like this track here, which kind of like sort of like echoey backing vocals like which like do really work very well. I mean lyrically it is just such like a like affectionate song. Like it is like of course like directed like to like his young daughter. So like yeah, like it really works well, this track here. Like was quite a successful single like as well. It reached number 31 on the UK charts, which isn't bad going like for Paul Simon like in like 2006, and that was also notably the only song post 1990 to feature on the recent like Ultimate Collection like compilation album. So yeah, Father and Daughter, really great song. That's certainly one of Paul Simon's strongest songs like from like, the last 2 decades.
There could never be...
Okay, so overall this album would score 85%, which is a pretty great score for it. I think I think this is a really strong record here. Like, it is Paul Simon kind of trying something new, like a bit different, like getting like Brian Eno like involved with like his music. Really gave it like a fresh touch, which was maybe lacking like from like his last few records, like Songs from the Caveman and You're the One. I mean, like they had all been kind of like derived like from like Graceland, like kind of like the embrace like of like world music. Like whereas here, like there is like very little like sort of like world music like involved like on it. Like instead like it's more like electronic, like more like ambient, which certainly helps like set this album apart like from like the rest of like Paul Simon's discography. I would say though, I think it works a lot better like as like a headphones album, like as opposed to like a speakers like sort of like records here, because I think like you really sort of like when like you're listening like through earphones, like you do get like you're able to hear like more of like the background noises, like more like of like the kind of like production nuances, like whereas like through speakers like it does kind of like get like a little bit lost like in like the mix. But yeah, a really strong record here. Like if like you are like a fan like of like Brian Eno, like I would definitely recommend like checking this out. Like even like if like you're also like a fan like of like Paul Simon's previous work, definitely this is like a record like where like he is trying something new, like being quite forward thinking, but like remains very strong lyrically, and like most of like the songs as well like are. And like most of like the songs like as well like are like very memorable. So yes, I hope you have enjoyed this review, and I will see you all next time for the next video. Goodbye.
1 and 1 is 2. There could never